Hi, Assalamualaikum and good evening to our lecturer and friends. Today we will to present about Chinese service. Before that, my name is Shazrin Emizaduddina binti Shawnizam and my partner is Nr.frhhh binti Ruby. For introduction about restaurant, is a restaurant definitely have to serve food and drinks because that what happened in the restaurants. In the modern time, the restaurant now have a delivery service because this is can help the customer to orders online or take away the foods for example, like pandemic COVID-19, we ensure that people will ask the delivery food because the lockdown. They also include other cuisines because they have types of cuisines, Malay, Indian, Chinese, and Western. It is a special one of the list. Chinese cuisine, if its definitions difference because they have a unique seasoning that they put in their food because Chinese love to have the strong flavor in it. Lastly, it is also have a strong effect in these local nationals because in Malaysia we have different kin of calories. So Chinese is the one that have a lot to different skin of foods. Okay, the Chinese service is a very ancient. Mean that the menu on Chinese service have a lot, so they need to make a change on every foods. They have so this will make Chinese food more delicious. Next, as you know, the Chinese is really focusing on the traditionals because their traditional is like to eat with family. For example, one table have 10 pupils on it, so that is one of the culture. So the last point, this service is more important that they as family concept because they love to gather with family, and also the food on Chinese set is a lot, so it is good to eat with family. Okay, next is a method of the Chinese service. The Chinese service is a less labor service because on the table have foods. And then they can choose on the tables, and it is a simple for the service. Second point, they can take food on their favorite, just pick some food to eat, and following the taste on the food they like. Next, this amount of the service is expensive because there is a special for Chinese service, and the Chinese pupils that other cuisines does not have a so this make an easy for Chinese pupils. This service will serve dessert first because they Chinese people love to eat dessert first and love dessert very much. So that's why they serve the dessert first. This service they serve a lot of food for the service because their menu have variety of the food, and this is for the easy pupils to choose their own food. The Chinese people ask the lazy choosings for the name of the tables to eat.
My name is Nr.frhhh binti I want to explain about table setting at Chinese service. Okay, at Chinese service has round tables preferred for large group, particularly in restaurants, in order to permit easy sharing. Okay, at the table have lazy Susan turntables are a common feature at the center of large table to facilitate passing of serving the dishes. Okay, a basis place setting consists of a small teacup, a large plate with a small empty rice bowl, a set of chopsticks, usually on the right of the plate, and a soup spoon. Additions may include a chopstick rest or holder, a large water or wine glass, and a smaller glass for baijiu. Occasionally, a small shallow dish is left for each dinner to hold a small amount of condiment or sauce. At homes or low-end restaurant, napkin may consist of paper tissue, or occasionally must be provided by the dinner. At high restaurant, often provide cloth napkin similar to Western dining as a part of the place setting. Okay, unlike some Western restaurant, powdered salt, pepper, or sugar are readily provided at the table. Sometimes, bottle or soy sauce, vinegar, hot sauce, or other condiments are available. Black vinegar is popular in the north of China as a dipping sauce, particularly for dumpling. Okay, next slide is examples of the menu. The menu has appetizer, soup, main course, dessert, and beverage. Okay, next is advantage of the service. Okay, the service have many variety of food or meal will be served. Have The service has 8 or 10 meals. Guests will be able to eat more easily with the service because there will be no interruptions. Okay, number two is Chinese service is suitable for any gathering because the service serve many course of meal. Uh, okay, example of gathering is wedding ceremony, award ceremony, retirement ceremony, and another suitable gathering. Okay, number three is this service look more formal and elegant because the waiter wearing the formal shirt and vest. Okay, the waiter will look smarter when serving food to the guests as the clothes are important to the waiter, and this show how we maintain personal hygiene in terms of clothing. Okay, for example, they must be grateful for formal and formal when serving guests. Okay, next, this service do not use many calories. Okay, they only use chopstick, soup spoon only. Okay, unless the guest has a request to want to use a fork or spoon, so the waiter uh, can easier make to work make the waiter work easier. Okay. Lastly, this Chinese service, the guests receive the greatest personal attention from waiter. Okay, the waiter easily know what the needs and one of the guests are because they must serve the guests if they have a request. For example, a guest request for cool drink or warm drink. So the waiter must be served what the guest want or need. Okay, the waiter also show their skills in front of the guests. For example, cutting the fish or chicken at the ladies' person. Okay, make the guests easier to eat. Okay, next slide is advantage or disadvantage of the Chinese service. First is food wastage. Okay, the service has many course of meal, and the guest will get full if the guest eat too much and cannot finish the food for the next meal. Okay, next is this service need many space to put food at ladies' person because the food served for 8 or 10 person. The waiter must prepare the many space to make easier to serve the food for the guests and make the guests easier to get the food, so the guests will not make the table scattered. Okay, next, need to change the plate for each course meal for the service because the guests want to use the new plate for each course meal. If do not change the plate, the taste of food will be missed and the guests cannot taste the food correctly. Okay, the service also have slow performance to serve the food because the waiters serve the food one by one for each course meal. Okay, the service make the guests must wait for another meal. Okay, lastly, the advantage of this Chinese service is take a long time to cook Chinese cuisine because the chef at the kitchen must prepare 8 or 10 course for the service and must cook for many guests. Okay, the conclusion of this Chinese service as uh, first is we must have a basic knowledge about the type of service event. Okay, because it can use time working as a manager at the restaurant or hotel. Okay, have knowledge about how to be good manager to other waiter. Okay, another else is add more knowledge about the Chinese service. Okay, I also get how to prepare a table setting and the menu. Okay, lastly, for the conclusion is can increase many confidence in sharing knowledge with other. Okay, thank you.